Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Die Rise Easter egg solo and co-op for the Maxis side. Before we get started, there are going to be a few in-game and out-of-game prerequisites we need to cover. Firstly, you're going to need to install Plutonium. I'll have a link down in the description where when you click on it, it will show you how to actually download and install the mod itself and set up Black Ops 2. Next, you're going to need to install the solo mod itself from GitHub. I'll also have a link to that down in the description. Unfortunately, I don't have a guide on how to actually set it up, but I will leave steps down in the description also on how to actually set up the mod and insert it into your game files. As I said in my Tranzit video, I will have a more dedicated guide on how to install these mods into your game files in the future. If you did want to do this Easter egg co-op, you don't have to install either of these mods, but you can install Plutonium if you really want to. It's not necessary, but you can still do it. Now we can build the Nav Card Table, which is required in order to actually do this Easter egg. When you build the Nav Card Table, you'll never have to build it again, unless you're playing co-op with someone who has never built the Nav Card Table before. Then you'll just have to rebuild it again, or you can start the game and have them join later. If you did do that, just make sure that you are hosting. You can also build the Nav Card Table in one game, leave the game, and then join back in a different one to actually do the Easter egg if you didn't want to do it all in one go. All of the parts are going to be on top of the roof in the exact same location every single time. And the first part is going to be the radio, which is going to spawn behind this flight of stairs in the corner of the roof. The next part is going to be the wooden plank, and that's going to be right in front of the table build location. The next part is going to be the electrical box, and that's going to be in this closed off section of the roof, and in order to get back to actually build the part, you'll need to take the elevator underground. The final part is going to be the meteor, and that will spawn in this pile of trash right here. In my game, it was already picked up, so you won't actually see it in the footage. Once you've picked up all the parts, take them back underneath the dragon and build them. Just take a mental note that when you actually pick up another part to something else, or if you go down while holding the part, you will drop the part at your feet, and so you'll need to go back and find it again. So just keep track of all the parts and where you're dropping them. Now you can start the Easter egg, and step 1 is just going to have you turn on the power. For step 2, there's going to be 4 Chinese symbols on 4 different elevators. In solo, you only need to find one and step on top of that one. In co-op, all 4 players are going to need to actually go and find all 4 of them and step on top of them at the exact same time. Here are the 4 locations for the elevators. On top of the Quick Revive elevator, on top of the elevator just behind the Trample Steam, on the roof where you can buy the Bowie knife on top of that elevator, and also on the roof down the stairs on top of that elevator. For step 3, once you've stood over top of at least one of them in solo or all 4 of them in co-op, you're then going to go find 4 more Chinese symbols in different locations on the map. With these ones in 4-player co-op, you need to step over top of them in the correct order, and each person on your team is assigned to one of the 4 different symbols on the floor. In solo, you only need to step on top of the first correct one. The symbols are not going to be in the elevators this time, instead they'll just be on the floor. The first one is going to be to the left of the Semtex wall buys on the roof. The next one is going to be outside of the Quick Revive elevator on the spawn level. After that, next to the bank outside on the balcony. The final one's going to be in the middle of this big room next to the death slide. For the 4th step, you're going to need a sniper. So I recommend buying the SVU off the wall and then taking it over to this area of the map and shooting these 2 balls inside of the dragon's mouths to get them to disappear. For step 5, make your way down to the Buddha room and get kills inside of that room until Maxis says that you're okay to move on to the next step. For step 6, get the ballistic knife out of the mystery box and pack-a-punch it. If you don't know where pack-a-punch is, just find it inside of one of the elevators. Now go back to the Buddha room and fire the ballistic knife in the middle of the floor. For step number 7, you're going to need to go around the map and find 4 symbols on the floor with a lion inside of them. Now you need to build the Trample Steam, and if you don't know how to build the Trample Steam, I'll show you really fast. All the parts are going to be relatively in the exact same spot every time, and what I mean by that is when you go into a game and you pick up the airbag in one spot, in your next game, when you go there, it could not be there, but it could be the flagpole. So I'll show you all of the spots that a part can spawn, and it's going to be one of the 4 parts basically. The first part can spawn on this receptionist desk right here. The second part can spawn midway up the left side of the stairs. After opening up that first door, underneath this painting on the wall right here, just opposite of that wall on this wall right here, taking a right down this long hallway in the corner of this hole in the wall right here, just to the right of the escalator, and finally on the right side of the staircase leaning up against the railing. In solo, you can only pick up one Trample Steam, but with the mod active, you can pick up as many as you need in order to complete this step. Now go find those 4 lion symbols around the map. There's one inside of the spawn room, there's one just outside of the spawn room at the bottom of the escalator, one in front of where you picked up the electrical box for the Nav Card Table, and finally in front of these 2 elevators on the roof. In co-op, each player will be assigned to a different symbol, and they'll need to place a Trample Steam on top of that symbol facing the satellite tower. You'll know you've done it correctly because when you place the Trample Steam down on top of the symbol, you won't be able to pick it up again. If you can pick it up again, then just pick it up and place it back down until you can't pick it up again. In spawn, these 2 lion statues are going to be stepping on top of these 2 balls that you shot out of the dragon's mouths from earlier. 2 players are going to need to pick up the balls and put them on top of the Trample Steams that are in spawn. Once you've done that, they should collide in the air at some point, and an orange beam of light will shoot down and turn 4 corners of the satellite tower orange. Then you can move on to the next step. In solo, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, so bear with me here. In solo, you're still supposed to pick up 4 Trample Steams and place them at the 4 locations on the map. But I didn't do that in my game, it wouldn't let me. So what I ended up doing was only placing 2 Trample Steams down, one at the one in spawn and one next to the escalator, and then I put the 2 balls on those ones, and that worked for me. The reason why this step is so hard on solo is because once you get the Trample Steams down and you can't pick them up again, it can still be buggy and won't let you actually place the ball onto the Trample Steam. In which case, you're actually completely screwed and you'll need to restart your game and get all the way back up to that point to do a bunch of trial and error when it comes to this step in solo. If you have any problems with this step, whether you're playing solo or co-op, let me know down in the comments and I'll try and help you out as best as I can, because this is completely screwed up even in co-op and not using the mod. Once you have gotten it to work, get out a pen and paper and you're on to the last step of the Easter egg. Before you start this step, you are also going to need to go buy Galvanuckles. Now that you've done those 2 things, you are going to need to go find 8 tiles around the map, and they are going to be extremely small and hard to see, but I'll show you all 11 locations right now. The first one's going to be on this railing at the satellite tower. The next one's going to be at this crumbled staircase. The next one is going to be on the receptionist desk. The next one is going to be on this pillow near the upside down box location. On the left side of the escalator at the very bottom. On this shelf right here. On this sewing table looking towards the TV. In this corner of the Buddha room next to the teddy bear. In the elevator shaft where you drop and slide down. The next one's going to be inside of this kitchen on the counter. And the final one's going to be on these chairs right here. Now that you've found all 8 of your tiles, go back to the satellite tower and make a note that each corner is going to correspond to a navigational direction. So starting out, when you look at the corner facing the opposite building that you can jump to, that's going to be north. And then going left from there will be east, south, and then west, with west facing the dragons. Taking a look at this chart, you'll notice that each of the Chinese symbols have a letter corresponding to them. And then each of the regular symbols have a number. Each tile is also going to have a color corresponding to it as well. Green, red, blue, or black. You then want to match the number tiles to the symbol tiles via color. So let's say, for example, that the north tile is green. You then want to go and find the other corresponding tile that is also green, but is not an actual symbol. It's just going to be a number. So let's say for this example that green corresponds to 3 also. So that means for this example that north would be hit 3rd in the sequence of 4. Once you've matched each of the symbols on the right to each of the symbols on the left via color, you just want to go to the satellite tower and melee them with the Galvanuckles in that order. So in my game, I got south, east, north, west, and so that's what I meleeed them in. Once you've done that, the tower should start glowing orange, and you'll have completely done the Easter egg. So congratulations on doing the Easter egg solo if you did do it solo, or doing it co-op if you did it co-op. Once you've completed the Easter egg, you'll be awarded with all perks on the map. In co-op, you will also get an achievement called High Maintenance, Unfortunately, you won't get it in solo. You would have to actually do it in co-op. When you go into the main menu on solo and co-op, the icon for die rise should be glowing orange, signifying that you have in fact completed the Easter egg as well. Also, as a quick fix to my last video for Transit, I said that I wasn't sure if it would actually glow orange if you did it solo. Die rise seemed to work if you do it solo, but I still didn't see it work with Transit, so I'm assuming in the background it is working, it's just not appearing, but I'm not 100% sure still, so we'll still figure it out when we get to Buried. I really want to thank all of you for watching this video today. I can't describe how grateful I am that each of you actually see these videos. Let me know down in the comments below if this video did help you, and I'll see you all in the next one, which is actually going to be Mob of the Dead, because that is next in the series. I do want to point out too that I know that there was a 2-week gap in between uploading my Transit video and this video. That was because I was extremely sick for about a week, and then it took another week to actually get footage for my videos. But anyway, I'll see you all on Mob of the Dead.